That's nice. I'm gonna do this before the main mission. Because it's to do with Black Swan. Black Swan. Go to Panic. Black Swan. Swan.
This place holds such fond memories. Care to reminisce?
Are you ready to experience Miss Black Swan's dreamscape? Please close your eyes and rest your forehead on the dream bubble. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. That elf girl mentioned something before she left.
The nature of this memory is special. Don't ruin the dreamscape experience for anyone else by spoiling the ending.
Ah, trash cans. Let's see what your stats are, Missy. Where is it? Effect hit rate. 104, eh? She has more speed and damage. Oh, what is those? What do you have? What do you have here? Of course. Damn it. Right. I still need to work on mine. And my effect hit rate, whoa, is 89%. This is better. Oh, I have more HP.
Memories seem to be different again.
Yeah, I don't know how. Well, I have to get better relics. Because the game doesn't like giving me stuff. Game doesn't like giving me good relics. I'll tell you what.
In my estimation, there is no question about it. This is murder.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. The people of Penacony could never come to any harm while under the watchful protection of the family. In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, at worst, you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Not necessarily.
Sampo.
Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough. You specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case, right?
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties, being smashed over the head with a hammer in the middle of the street for no reason at all? This is not the kind of thing that happens on Penacony. You are guests of the Oak family, so you may investigate the crime scene. I'll be on standby over here.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Offer no explanation.
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact. Rather than hearing endless explanations, Would you like to experience it for yourself?
No, no, no. Hey, you can save that for the enemy.
Then on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion, shall we?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching you for quite some time.
Sorry, it isn't Sampo. It's not Sampo.
You stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. In the pond water reflections of the Ideen Park. Even in the reflections of the wine glass. Everywhere. My dear, do you have a crush on me? Well then, seeing as you're so interested in me, let's play a little game. I left a puzzle for you, Nero Timal. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. If you can solve it, then we can talk. Don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find me, catch me, and stop me.
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. But no harm, no foul. The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton slaughter on the streets of Penacony. Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan and everything. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter. That's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So, maybe you can just, let me go. You all are the big shots here. I'm really not on your level.
What a frightened look you have.
Is that
Don't
Sampo
worry.
then?
Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything. Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Yes.
Oh, seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective. Oh, fine. It's all fine. No big deal.
Yeah.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Can we summon the victim?
Where's Mr. Shamari right now? I'd like to meet him.
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Mr. Shamari expressed that he understands the unpredictable nature of dreams, and went on to vacation in another dreamscape. Best not to bother him. Guest experiences always have to come first.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him, half of Penacony will have been sent back to reality by Sparkle.
Looks like we'll have to play this little game of sparkles then.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for this case. Mr. Cold Feet, why'd you do it?
So they can talk after all. Miss Black Swan, they're heading straight for you.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you. I understand Lady Black Swan has quite the intellect. I'm sure you'll be able to get to the bottom of the Sparkle murder case.
The Sparkle murder case? Wasn't the victim Shamari from the IPC?
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family, Miss Sparkle Goldhammer.
I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here, and this has nothing to do with the actual case. Goldhammer. Is that her real surname?
Never heard of it. Sounds made up. Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today, but upon their arrival, all they found was her body. Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died on the spot. Such a brutal act of
Damn.
violence.
Died on the spot.
My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before, but they were unexpectedly ambushed by the Annihilation Gang.
The Annihilation Game's no more.
They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies almost completely raided. So they all shared a motive for killing Miss Sparkle, to escape punishment.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
Is the case closed?
No, there can only be 1 murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3 murderers. Hang on, wait.
If you can't justify it, don't bother.
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number 2. They couldn't have cooperated on anything. So it must have been one of them acting alone.
That actually doesn't make much sense. Even if they were on bad terms, those 3...
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues at the crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
The real culprit.
Right here. If you want to learn more about the suspects, talk to me.
Bailiff.
Lady Black Swan, allow me to introduce the 3 suspects to you. Lefton, Zhongshan, and Wright.
Right.
Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How tough that must be! Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare handsome men left around town. Last of all comes Wright. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Lefton and Zhongshan were so incensed that they broke his legs.
Hang on, I'm confused here. Left on? Right? Is this some kind of joke?
What? Where did you get that idea from? Do you need me to go over it all again?
That won't be necessary.
That won't be necessary. I've memorized every detail.
No wonder you're a memo keeper.
Look, an ID card. Talent Motivation Department, Shamari. Is this the victims?
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape. The fact that this ID is here means Miss Sparkle placed it here on purpose to prove that she definitely attacked someone.
Holy moly! This hammer is super heavy! This must be the murder weapon for the Sparkle murder case!
Miss Sparkle also used it to attack Mr. Shamari.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands! I have no idea how Sparkle could ever use this to hit a target! Is that all the evidence? How are we meant to solve this with so little to go on? did you pop out?
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no reason.
They are
to
clues.
the puzzle.
Puzzle. Clues? Puzzle?
But there are still some other clues that were placed in other areas, so they won't spoil the crime scene.
Isn't that a bit unnecessary?
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who'd never bring extra trouble to the family.
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask me.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. Let's take her up on her offer then. Mr. Assistant Detective, this way.
It's morphin' time. Doom 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 doom.
What's this little device here for? Could you please let me know? It looks like a little button.
Don't push it, Lady Black Swan. Whatever you do, don't push it!
I'm gonna push it.
That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke.
Now I want to press it.
Miss Sparkle also has her own button. The second she pushes hit, you and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke.
That sounds like both buttons can do the exact same thing.
Correct. Exactly the same.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me why?
No.
okay.
Oh.
Because she is fair.
This is nuts.
And not the kind of nuts you usually eat.
Huh.
Not your typical nuts, good fellow. Bonked. Get bonked, boy!
This notice seems like a hint for us from Miss Sparkle.
To prevent criminals from hurting our great and lovely Miss Sparkle, the Goldhammer residents shall abide by the following regulations. From today onwards, all retainers and visitors must enter and exit the Goldhammer residence using the facial recognition system. Those who cannot pass through the facial facial recognition will be killed on the spot. The regulations are there effective.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And why did the facial recognition system suddenly go out?
Oh, recognition.
This is so her style, isn't it?
Recognition. I'll recognition your face. Puzzles. You gotta love them. Looks like Paimon. I mean, not Paimon. The conductor. Pom-pom.
What's this? A plush toy?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express, this doll, is it connected to the case?
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
I see. Well, when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and were worried about her throwing out a random useless clue.
I see. Thank you for your keen insight. Then, let's pretend we were misled by a red herring. This doll, could it be connected to the case?
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
Doesn't look like there are any more clues. Let's head back to the crime scene.
Next, should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? This evidence, I've been staring at it all day, but there's nothing that can identify the perp. Lefton, that guy lost his hand. Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right? I remember this one best. Right has a broken leg.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer? After all, there are only 3 suspects, so elimination could be a valid method.
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind? Tell me, come on.
Pom-pom toy.
So, who exactly is the murderer? Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right?
The security regulations!
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good looks safe. If that's the case, then he couldn't have made it through the Goldhammer Residence's facial recognition system.
Recognition.
That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer.
So, who exactly is the murderer? I remember this one best. Right has a broken leg.
His leg broke.
Oh, is that so? I feel like the evidence doesn't really... Oh, is that so? Oh, is that so?
What, mutually assured destruction button?
Oh, is that so? Oh, is that so? So, who exactly... Lefton!
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left hand. Swinging that giant sledgehammer to murder someone, that must be hard for him. Probably impossible. Lefton's suspicion level can be downgraded.
But then how does a guy with
By
a...
process of elimination, it seems that only Right could be the murderer. That was easy. Let's tell the constable our answer and see what he thinks.
But how does Wright kill someone when they broke leg?
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan.
The murderer is Wright.
You have answered correctly! As expected, you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Game rules stipulate I must tell you where the next puzzle is.
Huh? The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange behavior. I'm afraid this chase may just go on forever.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind of a masked fool?
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind the behavior. Memories cannot lie, and hers may just understand more about her than she does herself. Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family. I want to try and avoid using my Memo Keeper powers.
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
Wind.
I told you, it's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And as a Memo Keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess. And those two weirdos are probably here too.
There's nobody else at the scene. Seems like Miss Sparkle used the same method to send dreamers back to reality. Let's talk to those two there, then.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective Sampo! You finally made it!
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Why are you talking like that? Is this some sort of artistic performance that young people are into these days?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy Sheriff, am I talking in a strange way?
Oh, of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no stranger than the cat that climbs the apple tree in my grandma's backyard.
You have a huh?
Skit this time is a modernist one.
Let's discuss this difficult case then. The victim is a galactic business magnate named Sparkle.
Her again? Sparkle really is obsessed with scripting her own death.
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the butt. Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new tie. She didn't come back out. After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on, but instead discovered Miss Sparkle's body. She had been strangled to death.
Oh no.
There were 3 suspects on the scene, namely a Pepeshi shopkeeper named Wright, a Foxian gambler named Zhang Sham, and a wealthy Intellitron trader called Lefton.
Are you what?
Our old friends.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart.
Miss Sparkle is so gracious.
Oh, brother.
Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is ultimately among these 3, and they were not working in cahoots.
You're too lazy to be a suspect, right?
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk any more with you, it'll make my pure soul filthy!
Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can learn more about the suspects from me. I trust you will be able to cut through the hogwash and find out who Miss Sparkle's killer is. Let me introduce the identities of these suspects to you. It's very straightforward. First of all is the shopkeeper, Wright. He's one of the Pepeshi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist. which is often a source of teasing for him. He can get pretty salty about it. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her. Finally, there is the gambler Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. It's possible he harbored a grudge against her. That's all the information we have. Do you need me to repeat it?
No.
That won't be necessary. I remember it all. There's an accounting book lying on the ground. It must have been specially placed there by Sparkle.
On the title page is written Chen Katong. Is that someone's name? A code name. Oh, I think it's the name of the owner of this book.
This Jian Katong person should be Sparkle's targeted victim this time around.
Ugh.
And there's the tie.
That skit before said that the deceased was strangled. Is this tie some kind of joke murder weapon?
The tag on the tie reads, "Only for Imperial Master Lefton." Seems like it's one of Miss Sparkle's personal belongings.
That's not how you use the word imperial.
Alright, how do you use the word imperial then, Sampo?
So, it's just like the first case then. Only 2 pieces of evidence. The rest hidden inside her memories again, right?
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract your investigation.
Go away!
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a law-abiding citizen this Sparkle is. Why doesn't she surrender then?
Agreed, Sampo.
A little stool that seems quite normal. There are 2 small footprints drawn on it in crayon.
The footprints, which are half as big as standard, must belong to a Pepeshi person.
Perhaps it's just that this person's drawing skills are extraordinary.
Don't tell me Wright's gonna be the one who kills them all the time. Feels that way, doesn't it? Feels that way, doesn't it?
What's that smell? Why is there a smoked red herring there?
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This is a wonderful smoked red herring.
Ugh.
Somebody save me from this cringe joke.
Even among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense of humor stands out from the rest.
Have you dealt with many masked fools before?
No, only a handful. After all, I prefer warm memories baked in sunshine. They're the ones that usually belong to kind people.
Evidence. A red herring. Wow.
This clock is...
open it up and take a look.
Doom 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 doom. Tick tock, clockies in the owl.
So there's a ring inside. This is evidence too. Why was it planted inside another device?
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth. We want to reconstruct the scene of the crime.
In the victim's mouth.
Yeah, in the victim's
There's
mouth.
something engraved inside the ring. Jongshan family heirloom.
No.
That should be it. Let's have...
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but the puzzle this time is pretty strange.
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway, let's report back to the sheriff for now.
Tick tock.
Oh, for the laughter. Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan so soon. What's that? You found out who the killer is?
Pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black Swan. As smart as the nest of magpies roosting in the roof of my Uncle Frank's garage.
This guy is mixing up his birds here.
Then go ahead. Who is the killer, and what evidence do you have to prove the case? Good. Then let us appreciate your powers of deduction.
Right, what would happen if I say
How's
don't?
it going, Detective Black? Have you solved the case? This guy, Jongshan, is a card shark who used to play Get the Koi with Miss Sparkle. He gambled away his entire family fortune.
This ring is a piece of evidence, right?
That's right! That's the one! What would a penniless wretch of a gambler like Jongshan be doing at such a fancy fashion store as this? Because he was planning on robbing it! He'd stolen Lefton's tie and was just about to get away when he saw Miss Sparkle, the one who'd stolen his family fortune from him. So, he darted into the changing room and tried to get back his ring. Who could have known that Miss Sparkle would end up swallowing that ring? All Jongshan could do was use the tie in his hand to try and strap down her neck to prevent her from swallowing the ring. But he unexpectedly managed to strangle Miss Sparkle to death. What a tragedy! If it weren't for your incisive detective work, the murderer would still be at large.
Is something wrong here? This is too
Yeah, I was
easy.
exactly
The
thinking
first
that.
case wasn't hard, but this one...
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means, this is probably another prank from Miss Sparkle. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff, the murderer is Lefton. The evidence is the tie, right?
Correct, Detective Sampo. I never thought you'd be able to deduce the truth.
Sheriff, the murderer is right. The evidence is the stool, right?
Yes! For the laughter, how did I fail to realize this formidable intellect of yours?
Then, right from the start, there was no murderer. The evidence is the ring. Whatever, I'm just spitballing here.
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a genius? How could such an unfathomable mystery be solved so easily by him?
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where every single answer is correct.
Why take it so seriously? Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. If it's a challenging puzzle you want, please go out there and turn right until you get to the Intelligentsia Guild. We're only responsible for providing an entertaining detective experience.
Isn't very entertaining.
Anyway, since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked the case, I will now share Miss Sparkle's next puzzle with you.
So that's it? This is just going to go on and on forever? We can't do that.
Hmm.
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose. Detective Black Swan, would you like to hear about the other answers that you didn't guess?
Why, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Seeing as you put so much work into everything.
What do you mean by that? This evidence doesn't really prove that he is the murderer.
Nothing. I thought there was an answer for every single permutation.
Don't go too far. Miss Sparkle will get tired. What do you mean by that? This evidence doesn't really prove that he is the murderer.
Nothing. I thought
Don't go too far. What do you mean by that?
this stool is a piece of evidence, right?
That's right. That's the one. Miss Sparkle's business failed, and she was on the brink of and so what a
I'd rather not play around.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Truly, Miss Sparkle is a fascinating person. She seems chaotic inside, but easy enough to understand. Like a performer on the stage or child hungering for attention. This game will be over soon. This time, we're going to catch her.
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here. I am the famed detective of Penacony, and next to me here is my assistant detective.
A murder in a locked room has left us all stumped.
As expected, another change in setting.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting the famed artist Miss Sparkle, and we stayed the night. But this morning, Miss Sparkle didn't come out of her bedroom. The butler, Jean-Shan, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her. But Miss Sparkle had never slept in so late. And no matter how hard he knocked, there was no answer from inside.
As soon as I heard, I knew something must have happened. So I acted decisively and broke the door down to get inside.
To get
The
inside!
room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was lying right in the middle, her face white as snow. One look told me she'd been dead for some time.
Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist's canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but alas, poor Miss Sparkle. She's left us now forever.
Besides us and Zhongshan the butler, Left and the cook and Wright the driver were also at the scene of the crime. What would you like to do?
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the next crime scene, right? Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart conversation with me? It might tickle a little.
Wait up! Wait up!
Honest kid. I know where you are, Miss Sparkle.
No
cheating!
Huh. Mr. Assistant Detective. You seem to be getting anxious.
No, it's...
It's not
This
Sampo.
room murder case is pretty fun. I want to guess who it was.
Let's go. Can't keep a girl waiting, can we?
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up, wait up! Miss Sparkle has one final message to announce. Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
Indifferent. Trash can.
There's no weird, sweet dreams troupe, nor is there evidence strewn all over the place. We finally caught up with her. But what's that thing? A Bella Boggian trash can? In Penacony?
Hey, dear Memo Keeper and Mr. Coldfeet, you made it. I didn't expect you to skip the final puzzle. That's on me. All right. Miss Sparkle cares not for the faults of ants like me. Come then, this is the final question. Listen up. What creature has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night?
No murder case this time around?
Sometimes it's nice to take things easy. Come on, dear, give me your answer then.
What's the... What? What creature has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night? Four legs in the morning. What has 3 legs in the afternoon, at night? Oh, I know the answer now because I looked it up. Apparently it's human because it has to do with time. So when it says in the morning, basically the beginning of your lifespan, you're a baby, so you crawl on all fours. And then in the afternoon, that's your most of your life, you're walking on 2 feet. And then 3 legs at night is the end of your lifespan, and sometimes you walk with a cane.
Since it's a classic puzzle, the answer is people, right?
Wah, wah. Wrong answer. How could it be as boring as that? The correct answer is Sparkle. When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster, so is exhausted by evening, but has to still raise a hand to hold a toothbrush. Poor Sparkle. So naturally, she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber jabber?
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear. But you can't try to fool me, seeing as you've just tried to cheat. Wrong answer. Accept your punishment.
Ill tidings manifest.
Time for a shot. Nap time.
I need to be brief.
Annihilate.
That hurt.
What do you want to know?
Time's passage.
Damn, you do damage, bro. You do damage, bro.
Holy smokes! What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere. Huh? No voices? This guy's pretty quiet. Miss, let's hurry up. Flip open the lid and find the girl.
Wait. Don't move. Something's off.
Miss, you killed Sparkle. How is this possible? How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? In the Garden of Recollection. What did you do? You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams. Only the Remembrance has the powers to do that. You planned it out all from the start because she teased you and was pranking you. You wanted to kill her.
You wanted to kill her.
I understand. You refused to let me go because you wanted to drag me into all of this. If I don't agree, I'll end up just like she did.
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the promise of the family and the blessing of the harmony. Not even a memo keeper can break this barrier. There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want confirmation, I've already told you the answer, Miss Sparkle.
Miss Sparkle? Who are you talking to?
You're not Sampo, bitch.
You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't that be you, Mr. Sampo?
This? Don't jump to conclusions! If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come by. So, deduction will do.
The hint for the final question was little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder? I thought you weren't doing that one.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. How could I ever miss it? The key to solving the puzzle lay in 2 pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case, because a locked room always needs a reason to exist. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide. That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily be the murderer. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily destroying a crime scene just to save someone who's obviously been dead a while. The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, but hadn't locked the door from the inside. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him. And, judging by his behavior, it probably had something to do with that canvas, like some final words. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle just wanted to pass on one hint to me.
The murderer
That the
is
murderer
the
is the
assistant detective, Sampo.
Which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first came up with it.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of
Fascinating.
the water. Use some abilities and tricks to keep diving deeper, and touch that secret deep inside people's hearts. Salvage it, and protect them carefully. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer. Would you like to hear it?
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom, using red paint to create the semblance of spattered blood everywhere. And that assistant detective who was first on the scene, who confirmed her death, was not the murderer, but rather an accomplice who assisted her in faking her own death.
What a pity. Such a pity. My dear, you were so close to the right answer. Unfortunately, the right answer is... Miss Sparkle's body.
Huh?
Sparkle was disguised as Sparkle's body.
Huh?
Ding-a-ling! I won!
Huh?
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all three of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady, I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter. That's all.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, Why so serious? Haven't you been having a great time? I have, at least. You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other, seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh, we can dance ballet together.
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly? A masked fool inviting me to work together?
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before, a memo keeper can't help you. It's frankly above my pay grade. Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
How did you know?
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch two fish with one cast, you might not be satisfied with your catch.
So, you mean you're refusing? Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find me. Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is Sampo?
This is Bellabog, right?
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
So they don't know each other, but they know each other. I'm so lost.
A special dream this has been. But did you notice its nested structure? Being part of a play inside the dreamscape is as weird and captivating as being in a dream within a dream. That's the end of Miss Black Swan's dream bubble. Are you satisfied with your experience?
Sampo turned out to be...
I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. It's worth repeating that dreams are just dreams. And in Penacony, dreams can be processed, or even tampered with. Things in our dreams cannot be trusted, let alone in someone else's dreamscape. If there's any information that you'd like to confirm, please do so.
I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with everything you've asked, as agreed. Shouldn't you give my mask back to me now?
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respecting agreements? Just kidding. I loved seeing that look on your face. Take this key to the tavern cellar, third barrel on the left. You never saw me. But Sampo, after all this time, what made you suddenly want to take back your mask? This doesn't seem like the Sampo I know. Let me guess. A catastrophe is coming to Urello 6. Am I right?
Well, no comment about that. But I love that line you said. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. That really makes sense. Sometimes even an old-timer like me feels like taking the stage and making a fool out of myself.
If you're all out of options, please get in touch with me. I'm the kind of person who values friendship highly.
Forget it. You'll be doing me a favor if you stay away from Bellabog. After all, the elation that Miss Sparkle seeks isn't something old Sempo can stand by. Go tell Giovanni I said hi.
Fine, I'm just spitballing here. Don't take it so seriously. Why so serious?
Alright, Joker. Alright, Joker. Alright, Joker. Enough. Enough games. Bring it on! Damn. So the sample is a... I'm getting a deja vu here. Damn, that's a lot of text. Damn. I got too real right there. That got too real right there. Too real. So she took the form. took the form of Sampo. Alright, let's get this done. Alright, adventurine. What do you have to say for yourself?
Ah, friend. My expression wasn't much better than yours when I first saw this. Your eyes aren't deceiving you. It's her. The famous singer, Robin.
But how could Robin actually be dead?
First of all, can I just say that this had nothing to do with me? I'm just an unlucky bystander here. The family can testify for me. If you don't believe me, just ask anyone in the Bloodhound family. They hate me and they hate the IPC, so they'd never lie. This is not where the crime happened. What I showed you was a memory. The most basic light cone manifesting tech. Authorized by the Garden of Recollection and owned by the IPC. Did you really think the Galaxy Rangers were outsiders this whole time?
I don't know.
Penacony has made a solemn commitment to protect the safety of anyone inside a family dream. Any person in distress will be forcibly awakened and safely returned to reality. What gives them the confidence to make such conclusive statements? Because behind this promise is the harmony. The family's Dreamweavers link up their minds together to construct an unbreakable defensive line. Breaking through this line of defense to create death in the dreamscape. Not even a memo keeper could do that without the family's permission. Who could have done it, friend? The only one is her. The girl who calls herself a Galaxy Ranger. An imposter. An unsought guest. An emanator who hides her true identity. Ifrit's death was a foregone conclusion. And Robin? Her misfortune was staring right at her. Who will be the next to die?
That's just one side of the story.
It's fine. Listen to your gut. Building trust always takes time, and I'm willing to wait. I just hope you realize that wherever that legacy is concerned, covert plans are already underway throughout Penacony. Everyone's got their own agenda.
Just like you!
Careful you don't get stuck on the wrong side. If I were you, I'd keep my distance from Acheron. After all, any schemes out in the open are always going to be better than a monster in the shadows, right?
Who's to say there isn't an even deeper conspiracy lurking beneath the surface?
Memo Keeper, I think our little deal is finished.
Aventurine is telling the truth. This memory is a real one, and there's no sign of any distortion grafting on.
The IPC is not the Garden, and there are real limits to what they can actually do. But you know all this. Friend, let's not beat around the bush here. The thing is, I want to reach out personally to team up with the Astral Express. I told you I'm just not interested in scrambling for the legacy. I just came to Penacony for work. I'm here to retrieve some lost property for the IPC, if you catch my drift. I'm talking ownership of this frontier prison. This has all become a bad debt thanks to the cancer of all worlds. The IPC has tried sitting down for negotiations time and again, but the family wouldn't even take our calls. You have no idea how difficult these people are to deal with. Put it this way. They've hushed up the existence of death before, so they can definitely cover up any news about Robin's death. It'll just quietly float off like a bubble and pop. Nobody ever being the wiser. That's not fair, right? So then, friend, I need your help.
What kind of... I've got something on right now.
That's fine. I'm not forcing you. But I'm really not asking for much, so why don't you at least hear me out, okay? I have but only one goal. The family's front door is like a high wall, and to tear the whole thing down, I'll have to dig out a few chunks first. Once I find a weak point, the IPC will have plenty of means.
Really?
Now we have our chance. So long as we can get to the truth behind her death, we can have justice for Robin. While also gaining a valuable bargaining chip for bringing the family to the table. Truly a once-in-a-blue-moon opportunity. I've been investigating and making lots of friends all over Penacony precisely for this very moment. This tragic news would be extremely bad for the family, so they'll be doing everything they can to stop it leaking, especially to the IPC. But I trust that there are still a few factions that remain exceptions, and that's why I need you all. The reputation of the Astral Express precedes you, and the Harmony will give you the fairest of appraisals. You get to find out really what happened and seek justice, and I get to put it toward completing my mission for the IPC. It's what you call a win-win situation.
A decision like this is way above my pay grade.
Don't worry, just head back and talk things over with your companions. That navigator is really smart. She must understand the value of this deal. Look, here's my contact details. If you come to any conclusions, call me. Oh, and take this. A thorough investigation can always use a little more funding. Don't mention it. So long, friend. I really am looking forward to uncovering the truth about death with everyone.
Aventurine just sauntered off. He really doesn't mean to force it, but something still seems off.
What now? What are your plans?
Black Swan. What is she thinking?
What am I thinking?
On the surface, this doesn't look like a bad deal for you. But Aventurine is a shrewd merchant whose scheme won't just be as simple as it appears to be. He doesn't know about Miss Firefly yet. But, judging by your reaction, he may have noticed something going on, and deliberately shifted topics to the truth of death, to try and pull you in line with his way of thinking. That's quick thinking and very sound logic. Aventurine is no fool, and working with him definitely has its dangers.
Can I toss a die to let it decide for me?
Leaving it up to fate. It's just how that gambler thinks. Anyway, be careful out there. There's more than one way to blaze a trail. In a dark forest beset by wolves, ensuring your own escape to safety should be your primary concern.
But what if I could defeat the wolves?
As for the other questions...
Did Death kill Robin?
I'm not sure the two cases were committed by the same culprit, but that massive wound looked like its winged blade. We've all witnessed it in action before. Plus, it seems unlikely that there would be two lethal entities loose in the dreamscape.
Have you noticed anything else unusual?
Two victims appearing one after the other in a very short time span, in and of itself, that's very unusual. Two possibilities. The collapse of Penacony's dreamscape has started speeding up, making Death extremely agitated and weakening the family's protections. Or, everything has been planned out and executed by someone. If someone has chosen these victims deliberately, first a smuggler, then a family celebrity, then this murderer's motives are worth thoroughly chewing over.
I don't have any other questions.
It's all happened so quickly, I can only make conjecture. After leaving here, go have a chat with your companions. I hope you can clarify the source of this confusion. Come, this way. It's a short walk. Don't get lost.
I'm Sampo now. My gosh, I'm getting money like crazy just because I put Black Swan on the list.
This way. This is where we part ways. All of this is like a nightmare. Unfortunately, the remembrance doesn't lie. What we just saw is the reality that happened. And it won't fade from our minds just because we wake up.
Wake up!
But follow your heart and don't be afraid. We all walk through this world casting shadows of different lengths. And ultimately, all we leave behind are precious memories. Hold on just a sec. There you go. A small parting gift. If one day you unfortunately fall into the deep waters of the memory zone and there's no memo keeper to join you, hopefully it can guide you on my behalf. I also pay great attention to the ways of the world. Just think of this as an apology from me for hiding something from you.
Thank you.
Then, I've something private to take care of regarding that Galaxy Ranger. Let's leave things there, shall we? What fascinating memories will you bring for me next time we meet? I sincerely look forward to them.
Still at the hotel? Jump. I have... Refuse help. Where are you? It seems like you've been gone a whole month. Where are you?
A family rep. Is Himiko okay?
Stop worrying.
Punch. Falcon Punch!
Strike first!
Oh, rocket the punch!
So much has happened. I should take a moment to gather my thoughts and wait for everyone to arrive.
Some time ago, deep in the memory zone.
Better unsheath that blade now, Ranger.
Do you still dream, Hunter? Of those slain by your hand?
I want him so bad! Days ago, Everflame Mansion. We get to see what happens. Damn, Duke Inferno.
It
Look.
appears the outcome has already been determined.
We're still alive, as are you. You still have room to make a choice. Leave the music box behind, and then go.
Choice. The bloody trail of the destruction leaves no room for hesitation.
Vtora's fire demon. Even if you sacrifice your life for that eon, you won't get special treatment.
Ranger, you tread the narrow path of the hunt. You could never understand. We come from the fire, and are born bathed in fire. We spread, burn, and destroy, until all the kindling has burned out and we leave only ashes on the ground. Burning forms the entire life of a fire demon, from the beginning to the end. We are born to die, just to put into practice a profile of another universal truth. All things are created for the destruction.
Your companions don't seem to think so. They fight for your chance at survival.
They are my children, and just as I was, they are flames that have yet to burn white hot. They're still young, and I don't blame them. But my flames are faint, and time is running out. Can you see the planet of festivities in the distance? I plan to bring Purgatory with me there, and before that, I must surpass you.
Why?
Because on the path they have forged, you have traveled farther than I have. Emanator.
She doesn't even have the blade unsheathed.
You cannot hide your true identity. Draw that sword, for we shall indeed remain here, bound to fight a decisive battle to the death, for I choose this. Destruction is intense, but brief. To cravenly cling to life is to endure an endlessly prolonged existence.
Even if the answer turns out to be your own destruction.
What is important is not the answer, but that it exists, just as you exist. Everything exists to be destroyed. Emanators are no different. Just as even sweet dreams may be born of the void,
Penacony.
the so-called impossible is merely something that has yet to happen.
All right. I accept.
You shall witness the most brilliant and intense fire in existence. May this flame illuminate the farthest reaches of your bottomless dream.
A bottomless dream. Yes, that's right. But you've made one small mistake. This blade remains in its scabbard not out of pity or scorn. It's a personal secret that I don't want to disclose, but perhaps out of reciprocity.
Reciprocity? She says that as her hand gently rests on the hilt of the sword.
I'll reveal the truth to you. The hunt is not the path I truly follow.
Nihility.
May death be the end of your boundless dream, guiding you back to the waking world. I still see them in my dreams. Hold it. Your time hasn't come yet.
My time?
I've seen many clever disguises that can conceal appearances, but they can never cover up who a person really is. And you're no different. You had no desire to kill the Trailblazer. You only did what you did to drive me and the Memo Keeper away, but why? Did Destiny's slave make you do it?
You know, Elio.
I thought this is just the kind of thing that'd get written into your script.
My script has always been brief. Other than that, anything beyond that is unnecessary.
Don't I want Sam so bad?
He knows my nature. There is but a single destiny from which no one can escape. And until then, I hold the privilege of choice. However, you appear to be ignorant of this. So it's time for me to inquire. Who exactly are you?
Not your enemy, perhaps.
That's not what I asked.
I don't deserve your curiosity. Loners wandering the cosmos always have their secrets. Take me. I'm wanted by the IPC, so it's little wonder that I know something about the Stellaron Hunters. That's all. Maybe I can help.
What reason would you have for doing that?
I tend to forget things. Which is why, rather than memories, I'm accustomed to using my emotions to capture what I normally wouldn't otherwise. So, I know who is inside that cold armor. How about it? Ready to take off that armor and sit down for a talk?
It's not yet time. I don't need help, but I can give you a suggestion that would make things better for you and me. If your goal is the Watchmaker's legacy, then go look into the family. Not only are they covering up the existence of death, but they're burying the past and the truth about what happens inside the dreamscape.
Already on it.
And the Astral Express is no enemy of yours.
I know that. I just never expected to hear you say it. What's next then? The Trailblazer's been taken by Black Swan. Will you go look for him?
No need for that. No harm in mentioning that Elio's only given me one instruction. Get all of the Astral Express to track down the Grand Legacy. I tried settling this in an easier and more direct way, but as you can see, here I am, confronting you. I failed. Can't ever go against the script.
The so-called impossible is merely something that is yet to happen. That's it. Before we split, can I ask you one more thing? Is there anything else in your script about me? I'd like to know what kind of footnote I get to leave in that future foreseen by destiny.
Red text I.
Unfortunately, not a thing came up.
I knew it.
Hang on. I don't.
Don't. What?
Your first question was, do you still have dreams about everyone who died because of you? I don't. Never have. I was born without the ability to dream. I live for this cold, harsh reality. For a little light, and to burn, to keep on burning, until I turn to ash. So, I really envy you.
Is that so? Then you're already living in the waking world.
Dude, he's so cool. What the I want to golden hour.
We heard about Miss Firefly from Black Swan, but we never expected Miss Robin to...
I want... Huh.
I'm sorry that I couldn't be with you then.
Reality cruises on in serenity, while undercurrents bubble up from the dreamscape. Just like that memo keeper said. Stay strong, everyone. We can still do what we can for them. Starting with finding the murderer.
Let's recap everything then. The Trailblazer just reminded me of something. March, do you remember what that family rep who negotiated with us said?
Indeed, we trust that the Nameless has nothing to do with this, and we also beg each of you to help assist the family in verifying the identity of the deceased. That's how it was put, in reference to Miss Firefly.
Looking back, he seemed a little evasive at the time. And he also failed to mention anything about the earlier murder, too.
The family's planning on covering up all news about Miss Robin's death. If news gets out, Penacony's going to turn into a bloodbath.
But the murder that followed closely after was obviously beyond their anticipation. The family had to try and turn things to their advantage by bringing in reinforcements from outside. The Charmony Festival is nearly here. They must be snowed under.
It may also be that Miss Firefly's murder had so many witnesses that it couldn't be covered up. So they went with the flow and let more people on the scene to control the situation. After all, the nature of the two murders is fundamentally different. The family's first protective measure should be against malicious actors among the guests, such as that IPC envoy.
Weird. Okay, let me check some. Yeah. No matter the cost, I will continue on. And you know what? No, yes, yeah. What? Aventurine is on guard against Acheron.
Indeed. He was particularly concerned about that Galaxy Ranger.
Are we missing the forest for the trees here? I always felt that Aventurine's reasons for accusing Miss Acheron were highly subtle. Can we believe him?
At this point, I'm afraid the only ones we can trust are ourselves.
Look, let's try to gather intel first and then list all the possible outcomes we can. Then we go through them, eliminating contradictions one by one. The fewer facts remaining, the closer we are to the truth. I've still got this sense of foreboding. It's like we're stuck in a whirlpool, spinning around that legacy even after everything that's happened.
This time we're playing the role of a real detective. But before we start, what are we going to say to the family and Aventurine?
As I see things, the family harbors no ill will towards the Astral Express. If they didn't trust the crew, they wouldn't have casually commissioned outsiders to investigate a case that's, in all likelihood, a scandal. Plus, this is the family's turf. Teaming up with them should make things easier for us in the future. As for that Aventurine, well, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
He's complex. He deliberately slow-played his hand during negotiations while running circles around us all the while. He appealed convincingly to both reason and emotion. It wasn't forced, but the intent was obvious. Still, it's good to have contacts among all this uncertainty. Aventurine showed his skills, and as far as our interests are aligned, he can become a reliable ally. We also need to keep a certain distance from the family. Never let them get too close. Teaming up with the IPC helps balance that out. If either side makes a move, we have the option to pull out.
So, you suggest accepting Aventurine's proposal to team up?
Yes. It's risky, but we can only wait until both sides have played their cards before making any further judgments.
I get why, but there's a whole lot of bad guys and girls around here, and I'm worried about getting stabbed in the back. He's been bullied a few times now, and I can't stand it anymore.
It's cool, you can bully me whenever. Oh my, what am I gonna do with you, March? Right. I'm getting distracted here. I was looking at some stuff, work related. Yeah. Sorry about this. I'm just distraught a little bit right now. And I really shouldn't be, but yeah, what you gonna do? What you gonna do about it, eh? Right. Okay, we will be full force now. Yes, of course. Ah, yes. Everything is fine. Everything's fine. Totally all fine. Yeah. It's cool. You can bully me whenever.
You...
Yes, me.
No, I can't accept this. Forget about it. Just let me keep an eye on him. If that doesn't work, we can just turn the tables and use him instead.
Then, could you please reply to Aventurine? Everyone, take this time to put together your thoughts.
Here we go. We'll collaborate. Collaborate. Here's more. Yo! Thanks, boss. That's 200,000 credits.
Looks like Aventurine is happy with this outcome. Let's tell everyone about it.
And then I just made some more credits. I'm making credits.
Aventurine's goal is to try and recapture Penacony for IPC. To do this, he'll have to bring down the family in its entirety to create a big enough chance. The existence of death will be covered up by the family. So how does he plan on taking them down? It's gotta be something important enough that everyone will notice. But it also can't be anything too out in the open.
Perhaps he's going for the hotel?
An attack on the hotel guests? Unlikely. Penacony's guests include quite a few bigwigs known throughout the whole cosmos. People who not even the IPC would dare take lightly. Aventurine is a shrewd merchant, and there's no way he doesn't know that.
Perhaps he's obviously just going for the family.
He's definitely going for the family, and it's just a matter of how. The harmony is strong in Penacony, and almost impossible to take on head-to-head. The fact that the IPC dispatched Aventurine shows that they do not intend to simply play by the book here. I'm just speculating. In any case, we have to be careful when handling Aventurine. He's skilled at reading people and discerning the right moment to strike. Also, he's clearly a born gambler if he's willing to go all in to win.
Aventurine said something that concerns me. He accused that Galaxy Ranger of killing Robin without any evidence whatsoever, but said nothing about her connection to that memory zone meme or why he was stalking you.
True.
It was a groundless accusation, which only serves to make him seem more suspicious.
He's bluffing.
Maybe Aventurine's goal was never to gain our trust. Maybe he wanted to foster a feeling of enmity towards Acheron and make the situation more volatile. Two birds, one stone. However, I asked Don Hung back on the Express to confirm that story about the Annihilation Gang and the lost messages. It wasn't something that Aventurine made up out of thin air. You've met her many times now. What's your impression of Miss Acheron?
She's very mysterious. Wait, what? I can't seem to remember?
That fits the stereotype of a Galaxy Ranger to a T. They're eccentric, unpredictable, and fond of being alone. No wonder she's a suspect.
But I remember, but I don't remember. But I remember, but I don't remember.
I hope it's not too soon to bring it up, but I feel like Miss Robin isn't actually dead, but that she's still alive and well. Somewhere. That everything's just some horrible prank. Because aren't we supposed to be inside a dream? How could someone die in a beautiful dreamscape like this? Shouldn't only good things happen here? Whenever I see the Grand Theater, I just can't stop all these thoughts from flooding my head.
We'll restore all the dreams back to normal.
Yeah, of course. At times like this, we're so lucky to have our crew. The family and the IPC. Everyone has their own plans going on. Everyone's still having a great time out there on the streets. Nobody knows what's happened. It's all so unreal. As if Firefly, Miss Robin, and us we're all outsiders from another world. Aw, what a mess. I really want a nice cool drink of soda to help me calm down. But then I'd be just like everyone else out on the streets.
Looks like Aventurine doesn't need anything else. Let's turn our attention to the family's assignment.
The family.
Himiko, what do you think?
Among our current clues, the two murders that he witnessed are the most directly connected. I suggest starting here. One thing I'm curious about is, if a person dies in a dream, what happens to them in real life? Seeing as we're at the family's behest, why not pop back out to reality and verify Miss Firefly's situation back at the hotel? Perhaps we could also make a few inquiries about her while out there.
How about we split off into two groups? There are still some things worth focusing on inside the dreamscape. I'll investigate those, and we can link up again later.
worth focusing on. Oh. No problem. I'll leave it to you then.
Huh?
Huh? Aw, I thought I'd finally get to see Himeko and Mr. Yang go out on a mission together. Oh well. Take care then, Mr. Yang.
I will. Keep in touch. Honored guest, could you come out for a second?
Honored guest. Oh.
I'd be embarrassed too, getting stared at like that.
Forgive me. My name is Welt Yang. I'm one of the crew members on the Astral Express. I believe you've met my colleagues.
Well.
Is there something about my name?
First, don't you want to know my name?
I already do, Miss Acheron. You're a prominent figure in Penacony.
What are they saying about me?
Some claim that you're the real culprit behind these murders, that the Annihilation Gang's tragic fate at the banquet was a result of your blade, and that you're now attempting to unleash another bloodbath on Penacony.
The Annihilation Gang?
Ifrit of Everflame Mansion.
Tragic fate. That Duke turned his dying body to flames and sacrificed his life as a martyr. He was a determined and heroic pathstrider. Not even a villain should be disparaged like this. And what's more, there were plenty of suspects invited. Do they really think that a blade is more dangerous than that black hole you're wielding?
Keen intuition. Not even the family managed to point out the truth behind this cane. So you must surely know, Miss Acheron, that peering into a black hole is not a wise move.
No.
As a potential threat, your knowledge of us has reached uncomfortable depths. Reveal your true identity and intentions. Otherwise, brace yourself for gravitational disintegration.
That sounds so cool.
That shouldn't be necessary. But if it makes the Nameless feel less defensive, I'll be happy to abide. Believe it or not, Galaxy Ranger, Acheron, those are the names I go by to this very day. My trip to Penacony is solely to fulfill an old, final request. I'm here for the Watchmaker's legacy. And that's it. I think I've been honest enough.
Still unwilling to reveal your true identity?
It's not that I don't want to. It's just that I can't. I've come so far, and I can't sum up all of that in just a few words. Everyone has their own unspeakable past. Secrets that they don't want to be revealed. And I won't be asking any more questions, such as why the Astral Express is roaming around the cosmos with a Stellaron on board. Is he okay? That Memo Keeper didn't do anything, right?
He's fine. Let's stick with the topic. Gaining my trust all depends on how much you're willing to reveal.
I've run around many different Penacony dreamscapes just to try and find that legacy. And during this period, I came into contact with quite a few guests. In the process, I gradually came to realize the secret of Penacony may be closely related to the Trailblaze. That's why I've come to ask for your help. I don't have enough proof yet, but I'd like to speculate something. The source of all tragedy lies within the family. If you could trust me, we could find the proof to support this claim together. Mr. Yang, I think you've come to the same conclusion, haven't you?
Let's leave it at that. For now, I'll choose to believe that you bear no hostility. Share your findings with me, and me alone. I don't want vague conjecture to interfere with other people's judgments before we find solid proof.
Mm-hmm. By the way, would you like something to drink? Before we go, how about 2 cups of Wake the Heck Up? No, 4 cups. Because the conversation coming up will last forever.
Wake up!
I've been watching her closely for a while now, and the first invitation was in the banquet hall of the hotel. She just sat in one corner, keeping silent, chugging down a couple cups of Wake the Heck Up. I told her it's a pungent, bitter beverage, not the taste of sweet dreams. Only for people allergic to Soul Glad. And she said...
Really? But I don't taste any difference at all between them.
My mind is...
The guest rooms are charmingly minimalist. An aesthetic you share, Miss Acheron. It's a cinch. This music box. The invitation received by the Annihilation Gang. There are latent memories that linger on it yet. You see, memories of you are not yours alone. They travel in other people, other things. I know much, and I can predict even more. With some help, the dead can be made to speak. The Annihilation Gang, that band of desperados who all disappeared after meeting you. What exactly happened to them? Well, let me reveal all.
Gradation 12. Dreamscape 12. Father, I dedicate this to you.
Well done, Dubra. Wherever they go, shall be met by annihilation.
Annihilation. It's a satisfaction.
There it is. It's hazy, but it's Ifrit's voice. The other one is probably his progeny. This is the residual memory from when the invitation was first delivered. They were abruptly interrupted. Then, what happened next is...
They sought refuge in the land of sleep, merely wishing for undisturbed rest, away from the storms. Children of the flame, this marks your rite of passage.
She won't be necessary. I alone am enough.
When have those on the path of destruction feared death?
The Everflame Mansion has set out on a journey. Those poor people, they have no idea what lies in wait ahead of them. Memory recovery is going well, but slowly. She'll be here soon, and time is short. There's nobody else here, so there's no need to be delicate. In fact, I think I'd better go all out. What happened? The memory after that is blank. How is that possible? This music box fell into Acheron's hands, and she brought it to Penacony. That's a fact, and that's how it should have gone. But along the way... it's like it's been erased. Who's done this?
Who are you? Who are you?
It's... No. Is this not a memory?
Who are you?
Oh, a memo keeper. Do you serve the Garden of Recollection? Or the Cremators? My name is Constance. A pleasure to meet you. We were supposed to meet in Penacony and spend an unforgettable time together. But that seems unrealistic. Dolly is not welcome on the banquet store, and I don't need a coming-of-age ceremony. And you, I know what you're looking for. Want her secret? I can give it to you, and then you can enjoy the banquet for me. I wish you unforgettable memories.
Oh. A phone. Wanna listen in?
A few days ago, the IPC made an announcement. Under the watchful guidance of the Marketing Development Department, and in accordance with the Interstellar Peace Charter, the independent Sigonian sovereignty has hereby been established, and shall take a
test of your reflexes
at the Interstellar. The formation of the Sigonian sovereignty is of great historical significance to the Sigonia system. This move
Hello,
puts
Maloney.
an end to the planet's long and bloody history, turning the sensational
Maloney. I said Maloney. Maloney, right?
Sigonia 4 is located in an unclaimed zone at the intersection of the Denise, Prothean, and Dorneau star clusters. The planet's surface environment is known for being extremely harsh, constantly faced with the threat of impact from small-scale celestial objects. This is why very few intelligent species have made this planet their home, dividing themselves into several tribes to eke out nomad lifestyles as they struggle to survive the arid desert wilderness.
I like that word,
They have
eke
developed their
out.
own folk beliefs that are independent of the Eon belief system.
Independence.
Sigonia. Sigonia. Ravenous eye of the storm, spurned by all the gods. Land of rock.
Oh, aventurine.
Not water. Lightning, but not rain. Blood, but not tears. You beat us with your falling stars. You lash us with wind and storm. You chew us up with the cracked earth. You promised us a land of honey, yet yoked us beneath a sword of bitterness. Oh, Gaiathra Triclops, if thou can hear me, please open up thy 3 eyes and gaze upon this child.
Vengebios?
When you took his father, my child was still sleeping in my belly. And where my husband went, I too soon must go. I don't ask for a peaceful death. Just for you to tell me, does the baby swaddled sweetly asleep? Does he dream of his mother's heartbeat and the sound of falling rain?
I like the sound of falling rain.
Please tell me whether this life is all just fleeting dream. Otherwise, why would this child be born to face impending death?
Oh, the rain! The rain!
Mommy! Mommy! Mommy, the rain. It's raining.
It's raining, man.
Raining? Raining.
Raining! Wow.
It is raining. It's true. Those Outworlders weren't lying to us. They really did summon the rain. Mommy, we can leave here. We can go back home.
Back home. Gaiathra Triclops.
Gaiathra.
You
Gaia.
came. Do you hear that? Thank you. Thank you. Darling, listen. This is the sound of rain.
Test of your reflexes.
On the day you were born, the sky also sent down a gift like this from Gaiathra. Such a lucky child. Such a blessed child. Just like your name. A gift from them to Avgen. My boy. May the goddess Gaiathra close her eyes 3 times.
1, 2, 3.
Keep your blood eternally pulsing. Let your journey be forever peaceful. And your schemes forever concealed. Welcome to this sad world, Kakavasha.
Child blessed by Gaiathra.
Time to wake up, gambler.
Oh, heavens. I must have drunk too much Soul Glad. Didn't expect you to be back so soon. How is it? Find anything?
Just as you guessed. Nobody outside knows about Robin's death. There aren't even baseless conspiracy theories. They're still streaming the rehearsal for her ceremony. Using a stand-in, I guess. They must be dreaming.
Well, everything's in a dream, Doctor.
Of course.
Ratio.
Who could imagine that death would actually descend upon the idyllic dream created by the family? Let alone that the victim would be the female lead of the Charmony Festival. To be honest with you, I didn't believe it. I even tested it a few times myself. Until I discovered that I couldn't actually die. Whenever there's any danger, I'm forced awake by the dream pool, and it's all as if everything were just a nightmare. That's why I'm convinced that there are a few big secrets lurking behind the scenes.
Then you must have heard about the Memory Zone meme. When I graciously deigned to establish connections with the Oak family on your behalf, they were quite in a pitiful state of disarray. Besides Robin, there was another body. I don't know the exact details, just that it was a stowaway.
2 murder cases? I told you something seemed off about the Nameless. He must have come across the other one. This murderer is a psycho. But I have to admit, the case should be easy to crack. We can leverage the family's malfeasance and let the IPC use this as a reason to intervene. It's just that their trickery runs deeper than I thought. Robin's stand-in was all ready to go. These two murders are definitely getting hushed up. What should we do? Let me think. It's too rare an opportunity to miss out on, so I gotta be careful.
Incredible, gambler. Have you already exhausted your limited repertoire of tricks so soon?
There are plenty of chips, but it'd be best to choose carefully. The most straightforward has to be Robin. Remember? That masked fool once told me to find a mute as a friend. Robin is what she calls the mute. She has lost her voice, and while most people can't pick up on it, you and I cannot mistake that sound. Not produced by any voice box, but rather by the resonance of the harmony. If that girl hadn't gone hoarse from singing practice, there'd only be one possibility. Something was up with the family. Or Robin herself. To get to the bottom of this, I tried every way I could to meet her. But she died. Right before my very eyes.
A complete and utter loss. Incidentally, it seems to have resulted in your rather undignified arrival on the interrogation stand. There were eyewitnesses at the scene, and the family, in their graciousness, has tentatively accepted your alibi. However, for the foreseeable future, you shall, regrettably, find yourself under the vigilant watch of the hounds.
Woof.
Well, things aren't looking too
Woof,
optimistic,
woof,
Doctor.
woof.
Starting to break out in a cold sweat. Do you reckon there's still any chance of a comeback, given how things are?
A probability? Yes, it exists, but it verges on the infinitesimal. To phrase it in a manner more befitting the vernacular of Penacony, you're dreaming. But if you simply can't control yourself and want to try your hand, then there just so happens to be a suitable candidate. That man wants to see you again.
Who?
Sunday.
Is this a public hearing or a private trial?
If it were the former, it would hardly befit my stature to stoop to the role of a mere messenger.
Fine. Oh, that's great. It's all great. You see, the dead can't talk, but the living can. Ratio, I'm convinced now that there must be something wrong inside the family. Oh, just you wait and see. That man's sister has died. He can't sit on his hands. Well, without any further ado, let's set off. Lead the way. The show is about to begin.
That was
We're
a lot.
Here. The Dewlight Pavilion is the Oak family's fortress and a place where heads of the families meet to discuss great plans for Penacony.
Fortress? I like this metaphor. I dealt with the warlords of the Amanicus star system not long ago, and their synchronized orbital manor wasn't this heavily guarded.
This mansion nominally belongs to Sunday, and is very befitting of its owner. Without his express invitation, the likes of ordinary guests would never grace these grounds in their lifetimes. Look around while you still have this moment of freedom.
Hey, Doc, whose side are you on anyway?
Who's to say I won't sell you out?
We'll see. When we meet the authoritarian master of the Oak family, I'll pry an answer out of him.
Follow me and I'll bring you to his parlor. Hold your tongue and let me deal with the members of the family.
Interesting. Whoops.
I want to find somewhere to put my feet up.
Oh, neat. That's new. For sure. Ba-dee-ba-doo. For sure. Ba-dee-ba-doo. Dude just snaps his fingers. Look at that. That's cool. That's pretty cool, I must say. Do got a fancy phone, that's for sure. Story.
As we reunite.
Feeling lucky.
Hey, you two! That's a place of business. No entry.
I was requested by Mr. Sunday to bring him the suspect. My name is Ratio. He should have mentioned it to you.
Oh, I remember you. Veritas Ratio. Your punch virtual particle clock is impressive.
Excuse me?
The one on your head. Of course, it's nothing compared to my full pocket dimensional annihilating power armor of the Mobile Knights.
What?
Right, and as I mentioned, that fantasy raiment of yours doesn't exist.
That's because you can't see it. Like I say, only family can see the glory of the Mobile Knights. Enough. Get going. Don't keep Mr. Sunday waiting.
Mr. Sunday.
It seems like the idiocy index here is no better than it is out there.
When I hear Mr. Sunday, I just think of, like, you know, he's just a sundae. Like the ice cream or whatever.
A dead end?
It's a puzzle, dumbass.
The door is shut tight. Looks like we're on our own.
I mean, there isn't a door. How did you get in before?
That rhymes.
For security reasons, the family built the administrative site deep in the dreamscape, with the mechanisms hidden in these nightingale statues. The direction of the statues can be controlled. On the previous occasion, an attendant named Kona had gone to the side room to verify something before setting the statues in the correct positions.
Well, maybe we should do the same. Let's go and take a look. Of course, we can also use brute force. This is hardly enough for a seat at the table. reward with no risk? I'll take it.
I want to see how he plays here. Oh, that's a new enemy. What the?
May as well kill them all. Relax.
Boom. Boom. Oh!
Feeling lucky.
Memories are beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
Good times. Time to say bye.
Boom.
Boom.
Ugh. No.
I'm okay. Watch your head. Say bye to breathing.
That's actually a pretty cool kit. What is this kit here? Provides all allies a fortified wager shield. Those shields are stackable. Roulette shark. For any single ally with fortified wager, their effect is increased. Ah, follow-up attacks.
Sure, I'll play along. Spend freely.
Nap time. Stand still.
Adventuring with Clara might be really pretty good.
This is hardly enough for a seat at the table.
I can't snap. What the? And these enemies suck. They just teleport in a random
May as well
enemy.
Kill 'em all.
Hedge your bets.
Relax.
Six nightingales facing in different directions. An obvious hint.
But are these nightingales?
They are. What's wrong?
How can nightingales be so huge? They look more like torment eagles to me.
There are no eagles in the 5 families, only nightingales. Why am I wasting time with you on this?
And here I thought I just had to make them look.
Just as I thought. Here's the correct answer.
A truly miraculous discovery, Perhaps I should offer you the chance to join the Genius Society.
Sarcasm.
Really? Well, I thought you'd given up on that already.
I was being sarcastic. Can't you tell?
I literally just said sarcasm detect.
Oh, impressive. So much for Mr. Sunday's reserved, virtuous image.
Do you need me to remind you? We're in a dreamscape. No matter how grand the mansion looks, it'll not affect Penacony. Stop wasting your time nitpicking the family here.
Yeah, you're right. The only way to destroy the family is death. Sunday must have thought the same. Let's head down.
Death. TikTok. TikTok.
This is hardly enough for a seat at the table.
Do-do-do. Boo-boo-boo-boo. I like me some puzzles.
An unsurprising win. The dice have been cast. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all.
Good times. Now time to say bye. Boom.
I might have to roll for adventuring just because the kit looks so much fun. I like follow-up attacks.
Hold on.
Huh? What's wrong? Are we heading the wrong way?
No, but this door is locked.
My friend? Did you really make an appointment with him?
It's a trial. You got to prove your worth to Sunday before you can speak with him. If I'm not wrong, we need to find a way to open this door in the hall, or this place will be our prison.
Oh, an escape room. My favorite.
Get serious. I've no time for games. Let's head back. The hint is probably in that prominent sandpit.
Wow. That's an enormous sandpit. I'd love to build a tall building for myself. Once I have enough savings. Oh, look. There's a noticeable gap in the model. I believe you're right.
There wasn't a gap before. That man must have done it intentionally.
Well, with your brilliant mind, you shouldn't have any trouble recalling what was here last time. Right, Doctor?
Of course.
Yes. Caw.
Let's look around. When I see it, I will know it.
Fine. Fine. Why do I feel that we're pursuing a degree in burglary now?
Found it. This is it.
Snappy.
Stand still. Watch your head.
Watch your head.
A reward with no risk? I'll take it. Feeling lucky.
Watch your head, Buster.
Cutting the net. Didn't hurt.
Hedge your bets.
Relax.
Nap time.
Ill fate descends.
Sure, I'll play.
May as well kill 'em all. Good times. Time to say bye.
Boom.
Boom.
Do-do-do.
A 10-to-1 payout? Music to my ears. This is hardly enough for a seat at the table.
I'll show you a seat at the table, boy.
Say bye to
Memories
breathing.
are ever. Beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
Not bad. Stand still.
That'll take... What do you want to know? Ill tidings manifest.
May as well kill him.
The altercation is over. Okay, move on.
Feeling lucky.
Good times never last. Time to say bye. Boom.
Oh no.
Mind your manners.
Hedge your bets. It's on me. The dice have been cast. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all.
That'll take more than medicine. Nap time. Relax. Destiny isn't chosen. Ill fate descends. Memories are beneath the waters lies an endless abyss. Ah.
Watch your head.
That hurts.
Yeah, only 7 times to do it.
Naughty child.
Seems kind of broken.
Stand still.
Ill tidings manifest.
Cutting the net. Cutting the net.
That'll take nap time.
Relax.
Sure, I'll play along.
What do you want to know? Ill fate descends.
A reward with no risk? I'll take it. Fortune follows luck, just like it always does. Huh. And the nameplate reads Gulliver's Arch. Well, I'm amazed you can remember something this tiny. You know, this reminds me of a tunnel I once saw that could shrink people who passed through it.
If I were you, I would shut my mouth. It's wise to remain silent when you should.
Oh, this reminds me of one of those building toys. You know, with the blocks. I've never played with them before. I wonder if it's more interesting than stacking chips. Oh, look. The gap is closed. And it fits perfectly. So, what's next?
Whoa.
Oh, good heavens. Did I drink? Am I still in a dream?
Indeed.
Oh, Doctor, you're huge. It's me! Down here! In the sand pit! Oh, actually, I think we could make this work for us. Just find a way to slip me into Sunday's collar, and I'll infiltrate the family just like that. Oh, fine. I was just kidding. Let's find a way to open the door.
A dreamy town, Oak Paradise. Is this dude okay? Yo. What the hell's going on here, man? Hello, I'm Industrial Scum. Happy to be of service. Industrial Scum. I'll show you, Industrial Scum. Challenge complete.
Hello! Welcome to the Golden Hour base model. I am an Oak Soldier. I will be here to guide you through the tour of the base model. Happy to be of service.
And tell me about the tour.
Hello! Welcome to the Golden Hour base model. I am an Oak Soldier. I will be here to guide you through the tour of the base model.
Give it a kick.
Model. Happy to be of service. Generating guide. Please wait patient. Found the nearest check-in spot. Please look behind me. A capsule machine model.
What's up with that? Now the family's toys are trying to frame me? I didn't do a thing to it, Doc. You've got to be a witness.
I saw nothing.
Oh, capsule machine. There's no mechanism on the floor. Could there be one at the top? Doctor, do me a favor. So, I was right. These models have interiors that look exactly like the real buildings. The only difference is that no one lives in them. Funny that Sunday puts a miniature that makes him seem like a giant by comparison, right where he can see it first thing in the morning. Insecure much?
Does seem like you, yeah, insecurities. Dude's just clipping through the ground now.
Good times. Time to say bye. Boom.
Memories are beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
Hedge your bets.
Stand still.
That'll take. Destiny isn't true. Ill tidings manifest.
Easy peasy.
Oh, one of the fragments flew upstairs. I'll need to use the pinball machine to flick myself up there. But it's tough. Oh, great. There's another pinball machine base here. And it's empty, too. Doc! I'll need your brain power again.
There's no need to yell, I can hear you. The pinball machine must be hidden somewhere in the hall. Like the arch. Wait here, and I'll be back in a minute. Finally, a moment of peace.
Yo, I get to play as Dr. Ratio now?
For the theater of the mediocre.
Dude, the statue has a heart. That's so cute. And it just shatters. Oh, fuck off.
For the theater of the mediocre. Your answers?
Where's the applause? Let's see some sparks fly!
Answer me. 0 points.
That'll take nap time. Stand still. Good times. Never time to say bye.
Boom.
Boom.
Ah, crap.
A test. Failed.
Step out of it.
Cutting the net.
I'm asking questions.
Relax. Say bye to breathing.
That'll take more than medicine.
Stand still. Not bad. Good times. Time to say bye.
Boom.
Boom.
Since when were knowledge and wealth mutually exclusive? Got the defense? Answer me. 0 points.
Small fry.
SAS Perkibi. Knowledge is the measure of all things. It reveals truth and falsehood.
get cocky.
May as well kill them all.
That'll take nap time.
Relax.
Your answers? A test. 0 points.
I'll be right back. What the heck is this phone case, bro? Okay, what do we have here? It's
That's it. Pleasant moments of solitude are always fleeting.
Oh, you're back. Just place it here. Thank you.
I like how they animated these cutscenes. I mean, they didn't have to, but they did.
Thanks, Doc. Horatio, you should come in here and take a look. The view here is breathtaking. Honestly, you could easily squash me with just a pinch.
If that is your wish, I will do so without a moment's hesitation.
All done. Piece of cake.
How the heck do you...
Found
Ah. So like some character... That's new.
Feeling lucky.
That's a new enemy.
The dice have been cast. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all. Watch your head.
Good times never last. Time to say bye.
Boom.
Boom.
It's on me.
Naughty child. Nap time.
Stand still.
Ill fate descend. Memories are beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
I hit the mark.
Relax. Good times. Time to say bye. Boom.
Ill tidings manifest.
Say bye to breathing. Stand still.
What? Your head. The dice have been cast. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all. Watch your head.
Naughty
Oh, it's like an
children,
RNG.
don't listen.
Cool.
Nap time.
No dirty tricks, all right.
They literally have Malphite's passive.
Ill fate descend.
Sure, I'll play along. Relax. Oh.
Mind your manners.
Watch your head.
Time for a shot. Destiny isn't chosen.
Spend freely.
Nap time. Stand still.
Oh.
Destiny is apparent.
Hedge your bets. Relax.
Fun.
All done. Piece of cake.
Very fun.
Good times. Now time to say bye. Boom.
Memories are beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
All done. Piece of cake.
Puzzles, easy.
And the joyous tour of Toy City has come to an end. Makes me feel sad. Penacony isn't all bad, right? I'll use this interesting experience as a talking point at the poker table.
Puzzle time. I like these.
dice have been cast. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all! No dirty tricks.
May as well kill them all.
And the joyous tour of Toy City has come to an end. Makes me feel sad. Well, Penacony isn't all bad, right? I'll use this interesting experience as a talking point at the poker table.
It's a pity you made it out of the sandpit alive. Sunday is just beyond this door. From my limited understanding, he's not someone easily handled. Are you prepared?
Yeah. Only I believe he's the one who should be prepared to face me.
Tell me about your plan.
I don't have a plan. I'll just play it by ear. There are only two kinds of bargaining chips when dealing with people. Benefit or fear.
Looks like sincerity isn't in your dictionary.
Am I not sincere enough? There's no need to emphasize it. We've got to make good use of death. That man's sister is dead. He won't be able to turn a blind eye, and that's fear. And I'll help him find the murderer. He can't do it due to his status and position, but I can. And that's benefit.
On what basis do you believe he's incapable, necessitating the delegation to someone from a rival faction? The IPC?
Simple. Because that murderer could very well be a traitor hiding inside the family.
Do you mean the Galaxy Ranger whom you accused previously?
That was just an excuse, good doctor. There's something wrong with that woman, and we need someone who can keep her in check. It's better to minimize the variables outside our control while we execute our plans. Moreover, I need to know her identity. If I'm lucky. She could be an important pawn. And it's good to have more helpful friends when dealing with this matter. But honestly, the murder case is likely unrelated to her. I believe my standpoint. There's a rat in the family. Otherwise, why would Mr. Sunday arrange a private meeting with us? This isn't an interrogation, but a secret negotiation. We'll see. Using Robin's death as a bargaining chip, I'll win back my freedom and power. In the end, I'll ruin this beautiful dream and create the grandest death. If the chance of winning is just beyond this door, even if that chance is close to zero, well, you can't win if you don't play, right?
Right.
Ah, the charming audacity. To think that you, of all people, might emerge victorious, dear gambler.
3 chips are enough. All or nothing.
It seems my puzzles are too effortless for you, IPC Ambassador.
I appreciate your words. And I see you put a lot of effort into welcoming me, Mr. Sunday. However, this is no way to greet a guest.
Well, this isn't an invitation, but a summoning. Before we speak, I need to test your character. I imagine this knowledgeable doctor friend of yours has been of great help, yes?
Certainly. You ought to know this better than I do. He's already faithfully fulfilled his duties, hasn't he?
Yes, The doctor has assured me of your noble character. He considers you, like himself, a virtuous person who can be trusted by the family. I have come to know you very well as a person, Mr. Aventurine. You're diligent, generous, and willing to cooperate. The fact that you succeeded in overcoming many obstacles just to meet me gave me the reason to believe in your wisdom and courage. But there's one thing I must ask you. That is, you've used your wisdom at the wrong place to meet the wrong person and put yourself in a situation where you shouldn't be, witnessing a tragedy that shouldn't have happened.
You don't look too well. Am I making you anxious? If not, then it means I'm on your side.
If I wasn't mistaken, you'd just made a serious accusation against the family.
No, you weren't mistaken. For depravity is creeping in around you. There's no need for us to be evasive. Let's talk about your sister. Your sister's talent is unrivaled in the world of show business. As you know, her voice has been out of tune since she returned to Penacony. What's more disheartening, she can't sing anymore.
Death.
Who could be responsible for this? Many suspect the culprit is among the outsiders, but I know you hold a different opinion. Now your noble status has become a shackle, preventing you from apprehending the murderer and avenging your sister's death. You're feeling anxious because you're out on a limb. But don't worry, I'm on your side.
I'm immensely honored by your concern for me, Mr. Aventurine. Since you're so selfless and generous, I believe you wouldn't ask for anything in return, would you?
Well, naturally, you wouldn't incur any loss from this. I just want to reclaim what is mine. My liberty and the personal items under the family's custody, the bag of gift money, and
the box in which the cornerstone is stored.
Cornerstone?
That's right.
Cornerstone. I've heard it's a treasured asset of the Strategic Investment Department. A sacred stone that seals the Preservation Emanator, granting significant power. And every liquidation specialist holds one. For an object so precious, it probably comes at an even higher price than other forms of recompense.
Well, I'm sure you're aware of the high level of risk I'll be undertaking to bring the truth to light.
Mr. Aventurine, when you're out and about, do you always make adjustments to your appearance? Your tie should be on the center line. Your shirt must not protrude from your vest. Your trouser creases should be perfectly straight, and always aligned with the tips of your shoes.
Of course.
But I don't, because it's not appropriate to do so in public. You should make sure everything is presentable and in order before leaving the house. I'm not the kind that takes risks. The cornerstone must be in the custody of the family.
No room for negotiation.
Please, don't let me turn you down twice.
Sure. The gift money is good enough. I suppose you wouldn't mind that. After all, a merchant can't function without a bargaining chip.
You compromised quicker than I thought. Unfortunately, it's a gambler that needs a bargaining chip, not a merchant. I can give you your gift money, but before that, I want you to tell me. The fact that you can decisively forsake the box you asked for, what exactly is stored in it? Oh, triple-faced soul, please sear his tongue and palms with a hot iron, so that he will not be able to fabricate lies and make false vows.
What have you done?
Under the light of the harmony, all wickedness is revealed. I implore them to shed their light, and I'll ask you questions on their behalf. Next, you have 113 seconds to prove your innocence and gain my trust.
And if I refuse to answer?
You can try, and we'll see if the Harmony rejects you. Question. Do you own a cornerstone?
Yes.
What a simple answer. You, too, understand that idle chatter leads only to poverty. Did you hand over the cornerstone to the family when you entered Penacony?
Yes.
Does the cornerstone you handed over to the family belong to you?
Yes.
Is your cornerstone in this room right now?
Yes.
Is your memory free from any kind of tampering or deletion, encompassing but not restricted to the techniques of the Garden of Recollection?
Yes.
Are you an Avgin from Sigonia?
Yes. You even know about that?
Do the Avgins have any ability to read, tamper with, or manipulate one's own or another's mind?
What?
No. Does it matter?
Do you love your family more than yourself?
Yes.
All the Avgins were killed in a massacre. Am I right?
Who's witnessing this?
No.
Are you your clan's sole survivor?
Perhaps.
Do you hate and wish to destroy this world with your own hands?
I don't know.
Interesting. Now, the final question.
Trippy.
Can you swear that at this very moment, the Aventurine Stone is safe and sound in this box?
Of course.
Looks like we can get an answer. Open it, Mr. Aventurine. It's your last chance to defend your honor.
What's underneath that towel?
Please. Are these what you're looking for? Since you came as promised, learned doctor, does this mean that you are willing to take the side of the family in this farce?
What makes you think you can convince me?
I've heard you haven't enjoyed Mr. Aventurine's company. I also understand that you're an avid learner who sees the pursuit of knowledge above all.
In that case, you ought to realize that a competent scholar knows their position and wouldn't forsake more vital matters for the sake of petty pride.
If you agree to assist the family, I'll share our research findings on the Stellaron. You must be quite aware that, besides the family, no other faction is willing to share such information.
Cut to the chase. What do you need from me?
I need Mr. Aventurine's comprehensive plan.
Haven't you confiscated his cornerstone? You can't expect a featherless bird to take flight.
But I've also heard the 10 elites in the Strategic Investment Department have united, progressing together in the interests of the IPC.
The 10 stone hearts.
You'll have to speak more clearly than that.
The cornerstone, which Mr. Aventurine surrendered. Was it really his?
You question whether he would entrust you with someone else's cornerstone. The 10 stone hearts aren't as united as you think. Cornerstones are significantly more precious to them than their very own lives.
But you know that he's a crazed gambler. The more vocal he is about it, the more cautious I must be.
I never imagined someone would share his way of thinking. Honestly, you should see a shrink. Bring it. The box containing the cornerstone is unique, and only IPC senior staff and related members can access it. But I happen to be among them.
I appreciate it.
Unfortunately, your guess is correct.
The golden stone. Its color and glow are similar to that of Klepoth's body.
This is the very ruse he intends to use to fool you. He won't reveal to you that the 10 stone hearts chisel their own will into the cornerstones, granting them an unparalleled radiance. And this golden statue is also known as Topaz, not Adventurine, and it belongs to Topaz.
Oh.
So, confront him.
Not at the moment. I'm more interested to know the location of his cornerstone.
The safest place somewhere you'd never think of. Because he never intended to hide it. In fact, that cornerstone has been in your hands from the very beginning.
The gift money.
This bag. Mixing a cornerstone, more precious than life itself, with a bunch of worthless jewels, disguised as a gift of money waiting to be confiscated, is indeed in line with Mr. Aventurine's style.
The gambler.
Then he makes up some trivial excuse, downplaying the matter, and requests the gift money. This is a gamble, one he's all too familiar with, betting on your single misstep, leading to a total loss.
Learned doctor, I am grateful for your help. The family will surely reward a righteous person like you. As for the villain, I hope he retreats in humiliation. It was all thanks to your friend with a keen eye that I could add a blot of utter failure to your storied career.
Ratio, you wretch.
Finally shown your true colors, huh? Oh, and just to remind you, you currently only have 17 system hours left to live. Treasure your remaining time, and savor the delectable aftertaste of defeat.
You might as well explain yourself a little more clearly.
What I performed on you just now was the Harmony's consecration. You were to show allegiance beneath the illumination of their grace. Yet you acted willfully, uttering nothing but falsehoods, transforming the consecration into a trial. I genuinely see no reason to absolve you from it.
Is this what the Harmony represents? But is it built upon constraint and coercion?
You misunderstand, Mr. Aventurine. Punishment is meant for the irreverent, but I have seen your resilient spirit, and thus I offer you the possibility of a new beginning. Throughout these 17 system hours, you will be unable to escape the dreamscape, or contact any of your companions. You only have 2 paths before you, and it all depends on whether you can complete my test within the time limit. Should you succeed, you will be able to coalesce into the Harmony and be with your family. If you fail, you will suffer the wrath of the Eternal Centurion and fall into an abyss of doom.
Sounds like I'm gonna end up the same either way.
I indeed do need a servant to help me uncover the evil hidden in the family from an external perspective. I will purge the evil from the inside and bring the real culprits to justice within 17 system hours. When the time comes, compare your findings with mine. If both our findings align, or if you can provide me more insights, then they will truly be able to grant you mercy and honesty.
Shameless hypocrites. You took everything from me and still demand the truth? That isn't fair. Your carnival reeks with the stench of cash. Nothing is achievable without it.
This is meant to be an act of personal virtue, not requiring the family's support. Your bag is over there. Do as you please. I believe you can trade this bag of worthless jewels for everything you need. That's what gamblers excel at, isn't it? Off you go, Mr. Aventurine.
I don't like Sunday.
You are free. I will wait here for your good news.
This meeting isn't an interrogation or a negotiation. It's an outright execution.
Why would I do that, Mr. Aventurine? I'm just wondering what a passerby who stumbled upon a scene of a murder could have found out. That's all. By the way, before you go, I have a personal question.
What is it now?
Do you truly wish to bring about the destruction of this world?
Kakavasha! Where did you go? Oh, are you injured?
I got it back, sister.
You went to look for them? That's too dangerous. It's just a necklace. It's neither food nor water. We can survive without it. But I can't live without you, little brother. Promise me not to look for those catechins again, okay?
Shell slashers.
Sister, don't be afraid. The catechins are fools, but I'm smart. I played a game with them, and I won.
Won? What happened exactly? Tell me.
I made a bet with them. The 2 birds in the desert and me. Who will die first? I won. They suspected me of cheating, but I didn't. I won fair and square.
Of course you'd win. You've always been a lucky child. Gaiathra Triclops must be watching over you. But that's no reason to push your luck by going up against those bloodthirsty, cruel catechins. Have you forgotten how Mom and Dad... Look, this is just a necklace. Kakavasha, you are my only family.
I'm sorry, sister. I thought you'd be happy. Because Mom left you this necklace. There'll be no next time.
It is important, but not as important as you, my dearest brother. I don't blame you, but you must remember what Mom said. Pain and poverty are the trials of Gayathra Triclops. She has also granted us a chance. And that's your good luck, Kakavasha. Your good luck is the most precious wealth we, all Avgin, have. You're a child blessed by Gayathra Triclops and can lead the clan to happiness. So always remember to protect yourself and never resent the pain and poverty you're going through. All right?
The viewer thing was glitched. Weird.
Listen to me and swear to Gayathra Triclops.
Gayathra.
Okay. We'll swear to Gayathra Triclops to protect this wealth. But sister, if Gayathra Triclops was really watching over us, then why did she not protect Dad when he was swept away by the quicksand? After all, Dad went to the Catechins' land only to prepare for Gayathra Triclops' offerings. And where was Gayathra Triclops when Mom was shivering in our arms? Mom was still pleading for Gayathra Triclops' forgiveness under her breath, until the moment she closed her eyes. Sister, everyone praises me for being smart, but I don't get it. If every rainpour was Gayathra Triclops' forgiveness and grace, then how bad were our sins? So much so that we were born in this world of death?
Excuse me. I can't seem to find any information on this artist in the Iris family archives. The photo you provided also doesn't show any matches.
Just as I thought. I'd like to ask, what kind of traces do people leave when they enter a dream?
Are you referring to the records when you enter the dream pool? The equipment will monitor physiological indicators such as heart rate, blood oxygen levels, and body temperature in real time. This data will be included in statistics and handed over to the family for the screening of any data anomalies. Immediate action will be taken once any illegal behavior is detected.
Is it possible? It feels like our every move is being watched.
Please rest assured, your vitals are monitored in case of emergencies, allowing us to wake you if necessary. This is all for the safety of our guests.
Can I trouble you to access the records?
I apologize. The hotel does not have access. This information is managed by the Bloodhound family. We can only gain access if there's a problem.
Looks like nothing can be found here.
At least we know who to look for next. We can ask the Bloodhound family for information. Thank you for your assistance, Miss Allie. By the way, is Miss Robin doing fine? We are looking forward to her performance.
Fine? What does that mean? Is there something wrong with Miss Robin? The preparations for the Charmony Festival have been proceeding smoothly, so I guess things are pretty good. I believe she will be able to put on a spectacular show for all of you.
I'm sure. Sure enough, no one knows about Miss Robin. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But that Miss Firefly is truly mysterious. There's no information on her in the hotel system. Even if she's a stowaway, she should have a disguised identity after entering the planet. She's also in the running for the legacy. How is she going to sneak into the dreamscape unnoticed?
Is there any other way to enter a dream? Besides the hotel room's dream pool?
The Garden of Recollection.
The Memo Keepers have abilities that are difficult for normal people to comprehend. In the memory zone of Penacony, they thrive effortlessly, a fact proven to us by Black Swan. The hacker girl from the Stellaron Hunters used extraordinary means to unlock the Dreamscape Hotel's seal. According to the scene witnessed by him, it is likely that they are behind Miss Firefly's case.
The Garden of Recollection and the Stellaron Hunters. Both are possible, but what about the IPC? Since they want Penacony all for themselves, they're bound to have a plan.
Who are you guys?
The Bravo team has arrived at their designated position, ready to execute armed evacuation operation. Boss, get moving!
What?
Armed evacuation? Boss, are you drunk?
What do you know? It's more efficient this way. Just don't let the director find out. Act first, report later. Understood?
Help! Help me! I spent all my year-end bonus on the snowball! I don't want my name on the department's major disciplinary notice!
Hey, check it out! That voice. Could it be the IPC workers from Belobog?
To all guests, the IPC will be conducting special operations within the hotel. Please follow the staff in charge of evacuation to the designated safe zones, or compulsory measures will be enforced.
I'll request a beating for you lot! You've been told not to drink during work hours.
Look out,
Take him back
boys!
to the hotel room.
It's coming! It's a
I'll organize a meeting later
raid!
to properly go over how this incident report should be written.
Ooh, it's a Dragon Saint raid. Ah, good evening, Good evening, Saint. How are you doing? Gonna have to head out, but I hope you have one to rest your... Thanks, Cedric. I'm like functioning on half brain cells. It's late. Oh, hiya, John. Hope you're doing well. Hope your stream's been good. Yeah, I'm good. Stream was good. No, nice. Just doing the 2.1 update. Let's go. We're playing some Halo. Nice. I gotta re-download that someday, I think. Ugh. I got too many things on my plate. Wham, wham.
Miss Topaz? I never thought I'd run into you on Penacony.
I like Taupe. I mean... She has a beauty mark right there, bro. I don't have Topaz. Oh, nice. I'll be checking out 2.4 later, as well as doing some pulls for both Acheron and Locha. I'm skipping on Locha and Acheron. I played a bit... Well, I guess this is kind of spoilers for you, so I'm not going to say it, but I'm pretty much... I'm saving my currency for Sam and maybe Aventurine. I like Aventurine's kit. Looks pretty cool. I don't need Acheron because I got Kafka, right? So I don't need another Electro Nihility character.
Long time no see, Astral Express crew. Aventurine has told me a lot about your happenings. Huh?
Yeah, no worries. Not sure if I'll pull for them yet, but we'll see, yeah.
It's fine. Do as they ask, and try to avoid any conflicts with the family. Report to me before taking any action.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
As you see, the IPC isn't very popular here on Penacony. Cordiality from the family is a mere facade. The former frontier prison has turned around and cuffed its shackles on the IPC staff now. Only a Venturine, who carries an invitation, is allowed to attend the banquet. An entourage like us, we can only sit around in the reality hotel, unauthorized to even enter dreams.
No wonder a Venturine's scrambling to partner up with someone. The IPC can't back him up in the dreamscape.
His situation isn't optimistic, I hear. You're all helping to investigate some dirt on the family, are you not? Let me know if you need anything outside the dreamscape. The IPC always treats its partners well.
Thank you, Miss Topaz. We're on our way to the Hounds to verify some intel. Perhaps you've had dealings with them?
Yep. They're tailing us right now. Why not go and talk to them? It'll take the spotlight off me. Being constantly stared at is really uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, you're wearing like booty shorts, so it's to be expected. Like literally, what? It's like a one-piece suit, right? Whatever.
How does it feel to be in business with a Venturine? I bet you're not used to it. That's just his style. All or nothing is his mantra. He's always cozying up
Booty
to his
shorts and a
clients
pet
while
trotter
egging them
as
on to
well.
undertake
Let's go.
some dangerous assignment with him. But everyone has their merits, so I won't comment further. But Venturine's luck has always been good. He's always closed all his cases without a hitch, and basically never lost a gamble. Which is why, on the issue of retaking Penacony, I'm watching with keen interest.
It works only when all parties' interests are aligned.
Of course. It's business after all. What's important is where you're seated at the table.
True.
As for the two cases, apologies, but I don't have much info on them either. All I can do is ask you to keep digging for more details.
But I hate to raid and dash, but I got to get some sleep for work later, so have a good stream, John. Thank you. I pretty much plan to end stream shortly too, since it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. But thanks for the raid. I really appreciate it, and bringing those viewers here. Thank you for joining. Very cool of you guys joining me, the Steampunk Robot VTuber here. I'm doing some Star Rail. Have a good sleep. Honestly, I probably want to call it right here.